Welcome to Requirements and Expectations of the Media Blogs with Dr. Jessica Leveto. In this brief tutorial, I will be discussing the requirements and expectations I have for the media blogs for my online courses. The Requirements and Expectations tutorial will give a brief overview of the blogs, discuss my goals and objectives for this assignment, introduce you to the rubric used to evaluate the blogs, and detail each criteria in which the blogs will be evaluated upon. The media blogs are really an ability for you to engage in the material in an applied manner. Essentially, you will select and watch one of many media options. You will write a responsive media blog linking the media to course material. And you will engage in a dialogue with your peers related to the media as it is related to the course material. While I have pre-selected a number of both pop culture films and documentaries that are relevant to the topics we'll be discussing, if you know of material that is not on the list that you feel would make an excellent contribution to the topic and it's relevant, please send me an email, obviously prior to the week that the assignment is due. These are usually due in the middle of the week or middle of the section in which we're covering. And so I will need to have your request for permission to do an alternative media blog or on an alternative media email relatively early as we cover. Or if you're looking ahead and you know something that you do not see, let me know. And maybe your idea will also get added so other students can use the media. Again, I'm not claiming to have watched everything and know everything related to this. So if you know something that's relevant, please let me know and ask permission, and you may be able to do a media blog on something not on the pre-selected list. It's also important at this point to let you know that if you have a Netflix account, it will benefit you. I struggled and wrestled with the idea of adding that as a course requirement. I opted to not do that this semester because there is a lot of opportunity for streaming video in other places. However, if you have a Netflix account or if you are looking for an excuse to get one, this might be the time. For $7.99 a month, you can stream a lot of content on your computer. And also if you have an Apple TV or an Xbox, a PlayStation, any of these devices, you can often stream to your television, which does make watching any documentary a little bit more comfortable if you can watch it on your TV as opposed to your computer. That's up to you. Again, it's not a requirement of the course. I am encouraging students, however, though, that a lot of the weeks there will be options that you can find on Netflix. I have some goals and objectives for the media blogs. One is really to show a mastery of the course material, to be able to apply course concepts and theories to everyday life and essentially pop culture, to demonstrate a mastery of course material through examination of the social world, the social world around us, whether that be through the eyes of a documentary or of a popular film. Also to create a forum for you to share and reflect upon your experience with the media, with your peers. This will be an opportunity for you to engage with one another as it relates to the course content in the media in which you watched. Also to generate discussion related to the media as it relates to the course relevant topics. Everybody may be doing different films, different documentaries, and it's going to be important that, and I'll get into the criteria for evaluation, that you summarize it well, because a lot of students will not be watching the same media. Again, I'll talk about that in subsequent slides, but really it's an opportunity for you to show off what you've learned, to apply the course material, and to engage with one another. As you can see here on the left side of the screen is the rubric. This rubric is also in the tips folder in course content in your course shell or your online course shell. The media blogs will be evaluated to the following 6 criteria, each with 5 points for an overall point total of 30 points. Your ability to summarize the media, identify key concepts, and reflect upon it. The response posts that you post throughout the week, the engagement style of your writing, references and support, and clarity and mechanics. And in the upcoming slides, what I'll show you is a little bit more detail related to these criteria. First, you need to summarize the media. Again, because there will be so many options each week, it's going to be important for you to give enough information that students who have not watched the film will be able to get it. I do not want, long, drawn out essays detailing the media, but really a concise, rich summarization of the media. And you can weave that summarization and the analysis together if you would like, or if you would like to have, a brief paragraph before you really get into the analysis aspect at the beginning. That's really up to you and what style you want to take with it. But it's important that you're summarizing the media, conveying a mastery of the content. I really think it's important that you demonstrate that you actually watched the film. If you're just giving me a brief recap that anybody could find if they Googled the media, that could become problematic. You really need to give me enough evidence that you watched and were thinking about the media. It's also important, as I previously stated, that you provide enough information because not everybody will be watching the same media every week. Your ability to apply key concepts and personal reflection is very important. You must address important issues raised in the media, especially important issues raised in the media related to the course topics. You'll be reflecting upon that media using a sociological imagination and sociological language. It's important, and we'll get into the subsequent slides, that we discuss referencing. When you bring in concepts, be sure to reference them, but it's important that you're bringing in concepts and theories. I don't want just a review of a film. I need to have a review of the film that is sociologically sound and that is bringing in things that we have discussed in the course. It is important that you are able to tie in concepts, theories, and material related to the weekly topics to your media. You can tie them into topics that we've covered in the past, topics that you've covered in previous sociology courses, but what's very, very important is that we are really weaving in an analysis and reflection that is sociologically relevant. You will be required to engage in at least 2 response posts. I'm looking for your response posts to be content-rich, engaging, reflect upon the summary and the blog in which you are responding to, and contributing meaningful information. I don't want, oh, this sounds great, and I think this would be an excellent documentary to watch. Thanks so much for your blog. I think that's great, and I do want you to be encouraging to one another, but I really want you to think about their analysis, contribute, question, engage with one another, and I don't necessarily have it as a specific requirement to post discussion questions in your blog. However, if when you write your initial blog, if there was questions that arose while you were watching the media as it relates to the topic, write those discussion questions in. Make it easier for your peers to respond. Again, it's not a requirement. However, in your response posts and initial blog, it would be nice to have questions embedded so that your peers find it easier to respond. This will be a skill. This skill will develop and I hope get better as we proceed through the semester. The level of engagement with your writing, what I want to see here is linking the media in the readings. Be original, have flair. Some of us have more or less flair in our style. This is a writing component to the course. I would hope that you can express yourself, be reflective, and again, be analytical and critical as you're doing it. But it's extremely important, and I've said this so far on every criteria which I've mentioned, that we're linking the media to the weekly material. In previous weeks, if appropriate, if we've covered something that has come up and you want to revisit that, please feel welcome to do that. But again, you will need to tie it primarily to the course topic in which the media blog is assigned. But your ability to go beyond that and to reflect upon it and connect it to previous weeks would be excellent. Don't forget to provide references to support, utilize course material to support your claims, show off what you've learned, and make sure to tell me where you found it. If you're using a theory or a concept, which you should be using theories and concepts from the course, be sure to define it and, of course, cite it. Again, by citing it and including the page number, you're giving an opportunity for your peer to not have to really go on a scavenger hunt for what you're talking about, that they can easily follow up because you've provided them the information to do so. Edit your work. You'll be evaluated on the clarity and mechanics. Because we will be reading a large amount of information in the course, it's important to be clear. Be concise in your sentence structure. Read your blog. If it sounds strange, fix it. Make sure that your writing is free of grammatical and spelling errors. It depends on what browser you're using, whether or not you have a spell check that's embedded in the blog program through Blackboard. I would suggest that you type your blogs in a Word or a text editing software, whatever text editing software that you have that would kind of catch some of those for you. It's also important, if you do that you're saving your work in your Word document, because if for some reason Blackboard crashes while you're writing your blog is gone. So you don't want to put all of that work typing in the window in Blackboard and something happened to Blackboard, which it generally and sometimes does. So make sure you are writing your assignments for class in some type of outside program that you can cut and paste and put into the window. And that also will help you, again, catch some of the grammatical and spelling errors. In conclusion, it's important that you select a media that you're most interested in. Again, if you have suggestions for media, please send them along. I welcome them. If you feel that you have a book or a novel or a song, something that is outside of the traditional film or TV show or documentary, I encourage you to do so. But again, you must have permission to do that. It's important to summarize the media, again, because your other peers in the course have not necessarily watched, listened, read the media in which you will be blogging on. Be sure to be reflective, engage in an analysis, examine the linkages between the media and the course material. It's important that you engage your peers in a discussion related to the media and course topics, and above all else, have fun. This is my favorite part of the course, engaging in essentially a applied sociology where you can take the sociology that we're talking about and we're being quizzed on and we're being tested on, and you can really take it beyond that and apply it to a show that you're watching. If you're watching Parenthood, if you've ever watched The Wire, if you've watched Office Space, or a plethora of other, documentaries, pop culture, TV shows, any of these things, it comes alive with sociology. I spent some time at a wrestling tournament, and I just sat there and I looked around the room and I just saw sociology everywhere. You will develop that ability, and I hope to kind of lead you on that journey. If somebody would like to write a blog on, race and sport, as opposed to watching a documentary on racism in sports, but you have some experience, present that to me. Again, this is about media. It's about everyday life. It doesn't have to be the cut and dry options that I give you. So be creative. And I really look forward to this aspect of the course. Thank you.